Hey everyone, it's Kevin, and Fortnite's recent update on the game is huge news for the rocket racing community because Epic Games has just announced UEFN in rocket racing. Now, if you're confused, this means that creators can now make racing maps for rocket racing. Just like how we have so many creative maps right now, it's a huge step towards rocket racing because there will be so many new ideas and maps in the community that will attract so much more attention for rocket racing, which for the future means that we might even get more competitions, tournaments for rocket racing. It's all too soon, but let's get into what Epic Games has published and how you can get started into creating these rocket racing maps. So I'll put all the links in the description, but this is Rocket Racing X Unreal Editor for Fortnite, which means UEFN. So you can now build your own rocket racing islands with UEFN, and already this is what you see in the picture is a completely like a new map that someone's made in creative. It's not an official Fortnite map, but it is super duper crazy. So new rocket racing templates for UEFN. Can't wait to start designing and publishing your own rocket racing islands. We're releasing two brand new templates for rocket racing, the competitive racetrack and the speedrun track. This means for the first time ever, you'll be able to make your own rocket racing islands and make them available through Discover to all Fortnite players. Now, how it says Discover is basically the creative tab that you see in Fortnite when you try to find a game mode. So basically, people who click on rocket racing will be able to see your maps that pop up just like creative. So it's very similar. It's literally the same. Next up, you have a competitive racetrack template that puts down the cars for you. So as you can see in the images, there's I think there's 10-12 cars on the racetrack, and then there's also a speedrun template where people it's just one car on the racetrack, but you're still playing against 12 people, so the spawn point is still the same. But this is really cool because it shows you the template for the cars, it shows you the spawn, it shows you the checkpoints that you need, and it also shows you the finish line, which is really cool. So there's the rocket racing track device, and that features a track spline tool and a track style editor to create and customize your own tracks. And then you have the race manager, which determines the game mode and the global track variables. Now in here you can see that this is not a island, there's just someone that's making it in UEFN, but you can see how they create the different tracks, and there's actually videos on how they create, change, make the twists and turns on the map, which I'll go through even more. So there's the rocket racing vehicle spawner. Basically in the maps that you make, you can have this spawner that spawns the car, and then obviously if you die or if you demolish yourself, you'd have to respawn, and I think that just goes anywhere, but they've probably placed those specific spawners on the map, so it's not actually everywhere. You don't just spawn anywhere, you spawn right behind or right in front of the checkpoint. So if you want to have a a better rundown and read through this properly, definitely check out the links in the description because you'll get a much better understanding on how this all works. Next up, we're going to go to creating rocket racing islands in rocket racing. So as I said, you have the competitive racetrack and then you have the speedrun track. Now here is where all the magic happens, and it shows you how some of these things work. So this is just a random track. Look at you got spaceships on the side and everything, so it just shows you and gives you a rough idea of how everything works. So over here you can create a new project in that you pick a competitive racetrack or you can pick a speedrun, and from there your island is starting to generate. You have this template. Basically your game, your racetrack is starting. So here is the first snippet, and I think that's how everyone's racetrack is gonna start, just this one little island. You don't even need an island, to be honest, because you're just focused on the racetrack. That's how everything is done. And then from here you can actually start making your racetrack. So I'm just gonna go through some of the videos to show you how they're making it, or they set it out. I'm not going to go in depth into detail on how to create this because I myself is an Unreal noob. I don't know how to make the maps, but I can play them for sure. So if you actually start creating the maps, I'll definitely play it. Here's some other videos of the racetrack. Moving forward, they actually show you how the twists and turns work. This bit's really cool because it shows you how even changing a little bit can like mess up the track completely, but you have these spheres and globes that make the track completely change, so you can make it easier or harder for the community. I know some people are going to have like these like death runs, but with rocket racing, that's going to be super cool and super hard at the same time, but it's going to be super crazy. Look at that like twist or turn, like that turn is crazy. So they've started adding like that as well, and you can figure out the steepness or the depth of the racetrack as well. So you can add a lot of stuff. There's also secondary tracks. Obviously, it's not just the main track. You have like the other tracks on the side as well. So it's very, very cool. I'm really excited for Unreal Engine in Rocket Racing, and I want to see like brand new maps, brand new speedruns, tournaments, and death runs, and everything that there is. Over here, we have 2 more links that will help you out if you're trying to create these rocket racing islands. The first one is this one. I think it just goes through a bullet point way of how to create these islands, what you should do, the things that you need. So, you know, it says before you take off, creating your own like rocket racing island, and then at the end it shows you 1, 2, 3, go. So it's basically giving you like tips and guidelines on how to start it up. So I'm gonna leave every single link in the description. Over here it's called Working with Rocket Racing Islands. Now in this one it goes through a long list of all the things that is in rocket racing, like all the templates and all the devices. If you're trying to create these maps, definitely go check this out, because it's going to go through everything in detail, like the race manager, the speedrun manager, like the track, the checkpoints, the EMP volume, boost pads, how all of this is going to affect your gameplay, how it's going to affect your racing track. And it's definitely something that you need. And then even going down further, it's got the, you know, the decal, the HUD controller, the hover platform, the creator, the spawner. So all of this stuff for me is kind of like jargon. I don't understand much of it, but if you're trying to create rocket racing in, you know, Unreal Engine, this is where you want to go. This is where you want to get started. It goes through everything that you need. It's basically a beginner's guide on how to create these rocket racing islands. It is really hard. So if you're doing that work, if you're actually reading up, learning it up, you know, good, like really, really good. Like big congratulations to you, because you're putting in the effort, you're trying to go there. And one thing I do want to share is that you can actually start publishing these rocket racing islands, these rocket racing maps, and the more you publish, the more people play, the more money you earn. So you can actually earn money with this, which is actually pretty crazy. You can be a creator, like an Unreal Engine creator for rocket racing, and then, you know, publish these maps, give it out to creators, give it out to, you know, people who make videos. Let me know if you've created a map, and once those videos pop off, once more people start watching or like start playing your maps, you get money off it as well. So it is a win-win situation. If you are spending time on this, it will be a very good like investment for you, in terms like if you want to, you know, try be creative, try and make something new. So it's a good place to start off and I guess start making a little bit of money. It's going to be hard. It's not that easy. It's not just going to click to anyone, but get in here, do what you can, make some maps and have some fun.